Hello and welcome everyone! Today we will explore the effect of FLIP, formerly Flipgrid, on student perception of collaboration. During this time, we will explore the context, problem and questions, the data collection and analysis for the inquiry, and current findings pertaining to the project. First, let's check out that context. The context for my inquiry project takes place in a third grade elementary ed math classroom at an urban school in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I came to work here after previously working as a third grade teacher. There are about 57 learners who were asked to participate in this inquiry. Of those 57 learners, 38 of the learners are considered below the 50th percentile in math based on Oklahoma standards. Next, we have the problem and questions. Since starting in November with my students, I have noticed a lack of interest and participation in collaborative learning. The students have a negative viewpoint of collaboration and do not look forward to being placed into groups to do projects, group work, or any sort of collaborative learning. Furthermore, the students do not display the skills needed for collaborative learning to occur. To explore this problem, I have created 3 guiding questions. The first question is, what is a third grade math student's current perception of collaborative learning? The second question to explore is, does the weekly incorporation of FLIP affect the perception of collaborative learning? The last question to guide the research is, how will the third grader's perception of collaborative learning change after putting collaborative learning skills and strategies into authentic practice? Throughout my inquiry, I will be using 3 different forms of data collection that I will analyze to find results. The first form of data collection will be through field notes. These field notes present my thoughts and observations throughout the whole process. On here you can see 3 different examples of field notes throughout the experiment. It has been interesting looking back on these and explore all the things I observed throughout the process. The pre and post survey will be given to students to see their change in perception once FLIP is added to their weekly routine. The pre-survey has 4 questions on it. The perception of group work is used for an ordinal scale question. The question was explained to students as a 1 is someone who really hates group work. A 2 is someone who dislikes group work. A 3 is someone who doesn't care whether they do group work or not, such as a neutral feeling. A 4 is someone who likes or enjoys group work. And a 5 is someone who loves group work. In the post-survey, students were asked 2 different ordinal scale questions. The first is about how they feel about group work without using FLIP with the same scale as the pre-survey. The second question is about group work using FLIP with the same scale as the pre-survey. Furthermore, in the post-survey, it asks the students if they prefer group work online via FLIP or via paper. We'll explore these data points more in the analysis phase. The third data collection completed was through reflection interviews. Originally, I wanted to do pre and post interviews to see the change over time. However, time within my classroom did not allow for this, so I modified the collection method to be a reflection interview of their thoughts throughout the process based on 3 questions. What did you like or dislike about group work before FLIP? What did you like or dislike about using FLIP? And which type of group work do you prefer? The students' responses were enlightening to the inquiry. As we head into the analysis, we will look at the results of the field notes, the surveys, and the interviews. The first data we will analyze is the field notes. There were certain trends I found when exploring my field notes. 1, students were engaged while on FLIP. Whether students were creating videos, watching videos, or interacting in the comments, students were engaged and seemed to be in an overall positive mood. I had 2 instances throughout the whole inquiry where the students did not get along during their FLIP time. This was due in part to previous behavior issues. At this time, it is not directly correlated to completing the FLIP activity. I noticed students were asking to get onto FLIP during free time, whether that be recess, morning time, or free time during class. I was really pleasantly surprised to see this trend. The surveys provided a key insight into the students' perception of group work. There were 47 learners who participated in the pre-survey and 42 learners who participated in the post-survey. 5 students were considered null and void due to this change. The pre-survey resulted in a higher percentage of students not caring about group work versus either liking or disliking group work. More students liked group work rather than not liking it. In the post survey, it has been observed that most students either love or like group work. No students displayed any dislikes or hating group work. In comparison with the pre survey, this is a huge shift in oral data. Furthering on in our analysis, we find that on average, flip is a more desirable group work method than on paper. To begin this qualitative analysis, students were separated into 4 different groups based on previous academic data in reference to their Oklahoma academic math standards. The 4 groups consisted of high, mid-high, low-mid, and low achievement. In the high group, most learners did not care about or did not want to do group work before flip. Each student classified as high mentioned wanting to work independently. These students found themselves enjoying flip, most mentioning that they liked talking to the class online. However, they would still rather enjoy a pencil and paper activity over flip. The mid-high and low-mid had similar interests. These students liked group work prior to flip and found themselves loving it after completing flip. Their favorite activity was actually filming the videos with their teams. The low students did not like group work prior to flip. Several students mentioned not being able to help in their group or feeling left out. Using flip, they felt included and like they could easily complete their work. One student mentioned that he has a harder time writing, so it was nice being able to film or type instead of writing. Let's explore our initial findings. The first finding is student perception about group work is affected by the use of flip. Prior to using flip, 47.8% of students either loved or liked group work. Post-flip calculates that 87.5% of students enjoy group work on flip. Even so, not one single third grader had said they hated or didn't like group work when using flip. Of these learners who scaled flip as a 3, these students had not gotten as much time spent on flip due to absences and testing. I'm interested to see how their viewpoint would have changed had they had more exposure. The second finding that has been the shift from students preferring paper to online group work. Previously, I believe students would be hesitant about online group work due to pandemic learning. However, I found that students prefer online group work 87.8% to 12.4%. Of that 12.4%, all but one of those students is a high achieving learner. This shift into online work is a preference in part due to the change in methodology of education and the growing exposure to technology and video platforms. Thank you so much for watching and learning with me. I look forward to sharing our more findings along with my discussion and implications in the next session. If you have any questions, please reach out. Have a wonderful day.